I put off the idea of joining yet another platform for a long time. I felt like I really just didn't need to be adding another thing, and that Substack was mostly for writers and for paid newsletters. I didn't really think it was something for me anyway, even though I'd heard a bit of a buzz about it. I just sort of put it off and thought, no, I shouldn't get carried away with other things. But just last month, I started to get curious. I started to see more business people talking about Substack, and I thought, I'll just go over and have a look. And you know what? I was really delightfully surprised. When I logged in, my feed was instantly artists and creatives and all this really inspiring, human, down-to-earth kind of stuff. It didn't feel overwhelming. It didn't feel too buy this now and 3 ways to do this and all that sort of stuff. It just felt like that creative community that I used to love back when I first started my business. I love that it felt slower and more intellectually stimulating. It felt like I could just take my time looking at things and dive in deeper and read beautiful articles. And that really appealed to me because I was really starting to get sick of things like Instagram and TikTok that just felt like garbage. I'd just walk away from it feeling a bit ick and yuck, whereas this I was walking away from feeling really inspired and really excited, wanting to create content. So of course I decided to join. Now when I first joined Substack, I did feel a little bit lost. It is a little bit of a different platform, and I found it a little bit confusing trying to work out what kind of graphics I needed to add, how to brand my Substack, where to put certain things, how I find different things in different locations on the platform. I had no idea the difference between a profile and a publication. It was a whole new world to me. Now, while it's a fairly easy platform to use once you get going, I found it a little bit confusing as a newbie trying to set everything up. And so I thought I would create a video going through how to brand your Substack, how to get it set up from a branding point of view in terms of making sure that you've got all your graphics and everything in place so that when you're ready to start writing articles, you've got everything in place ready to go. Initially, opening up Substack felt like a bit of a maze. Where do I upload this graphic? What size does this need to be? How are people changing their colors on their profile? How do I add links to my navigation bar and customize my publication? It was a bit of a learning curve, and even as I found things, when I wanted to go back and change stuff, I'd be like, where was that located again? How do I find that? And so I really wanted to create something that I would have found very helpful when I first started, guiding you through how to do all these things. Now, first of all, what is the difference between a profile and a publication? Because this is one of the things I initially found a little confusing. You need to think of your Substack profile a bit like your author page. This is all about you. It's got your name, your photo, and your bio. And it's how readers come across you on Substack. And then it's also got a feed, which is including your notes, your articles, things that you restack. So a little bit similar to Threads or X, where you basically got a feed with all your text and things that you share, images, videos, any kind of content that you share, all in a nice little feed. Then your publication is a bit like a magazine or newsletter. It's going to have its own name, its own logo, its own branding style. Readers subscribe to your publication, not just to you. You're basically creating a sub-brand here. You're creating your own publication, just like if you're about to launch your own magazine, but this is all digital. So what did I do here? Well, honestly, I'm not one to wait around for days, fuss over names and, oh, should I do this? I just simply decided to get started. I have a tendency to just start things and then improve it along the way as I get to know it better. So basically I started off thinking, well, who's my reader? Who am I aiming at here? Well, I'm aiming at DIY designers, people that are designing for themselves. Now, what kind of things are they doing? Well, they're playing around in Canva trying to create graphics for their business. And I thought, playing around in Canva, that's a really cool name because it really would resonate with that sort of person. And I kept with that for probably about a week. And then it suddenly occurred to me one day that when I became a Canvassador, I needed to go and double check on that contract that I signed, because I vaguely remembered something about not using the word Canva in like your username and things like that. So I had a look at it, and it was sort of more about don't use it in your username and don't get a URL that has it in it, that sort of thing. And I thought, well, this is a little bit of a grey area, calling a publication using that in it. But, you know, I want to err on the side of caution. If this isn't something I should be doing, I probably ought to change the name. And so I changed the name to the DIY Design Club, because I wanted it to feel like a community, a place where people who are DIY designing can come and hang out, come and learn, come and discuss things, and just go that little bit deeper, where they're not just simply learning a tutorial, where they can think a little bit deeper about their design and also connect with other creatives. So I worked worked on a logo and all the graphics and all the bits and pieces that I needed for my Substack. When your publication has that really consistent look and feel, it creates something more than just a nice pretty publication. What it does is it makes you recognizable and builds trust with your readers. They start to recognize your publication and it starts to make it feel more community. It's like having your favorite magazine that you always buy all the time. You know, you start to really recognize that look and feel of it, and it really turns that casual reader into a loyal subscriber. Alright, so now let's get into Substack and take a look at how you set up all your graphics and set up your branding so you can have a beautiful Substack and not feel stressed out trying to figure out how to do it all. So first, let's take a look at your profile. So with your profile, you're going to need your profile banner, you're going to need your profile image, and something that got me really stuck was changing your profile colors. Now, I discovered this is only for some special accounts, but you can get it if you become a paid subscriber to another publication. So this was something that I found really unclear and hard to find out about, but from doing some digging, I finally found out you can change the colors of your profile if you're a paid subscriber to other publications. So if there's any publication out there you love, by becoming a paid subscriber, you're then able to change the colors of your profile, which really helps add to your branding. So this can make a big difference. Now, hint, hint, I have now added a paid tier to my Substack, which monthly you get a zine download, you also get a Canva template and a discount offer for my shop, as well as other paid articles and resources that I add over time. So to set up your profile banner, you're going to go to Home, Profile, then Edit Profile. Now the size you need to create is 1200 pixels by 400. Or if you want to create a bigger image for better quality, just make sure that it's a 3:1 ratio. Now to add your profile image, you just need to scroll up to the top and you will see the profile image there, and all you need to do is upload a square picture of yourself. So you don't need to worry too much about size for this one because it is just a profile picture. Just go on your computer, find a profile picture you use for other social media, something that is a good size, that is square, and it should work perfectly for you. Now this should be at least 256 by 256 pixels, but anything bigger is fine, just make sure that it's square. Now under that you'll also find the areas to customize your name, your handle, and your bio. So this is where you can think about too what you want to do for your profile. Do you want to use your personal name or the brand name of your publication? Do you want them to really link together in your profile, or do you want to use your personal name to make this a little bit more personal? Then your bio, you can talk a little bit more about you, or you can sort of intertwine it where it's a bit sort of about the publication, but from the perspective about you as the writer. Now under the profile banner is where you'll find the ability to change the colors if you are a paid subscriber to another publication. So if you're not, you will scroll down and see nothing there and be like, well, why don't I have that? Well, if you do become a paid subscriber to anyone, then that will show up for you and you'll be able to choose 2 colors. So this is your background color and then the color for your button. Now you can play around with other settings, add in your social media handles, anything else that you want to add into your profile. So then there's your emails. So when you write articles, they get emailed out to the subscribers. So you want to make sure that those emails are actually branded too. Now this is a little bit more of a hidden thing in a way because you don't visually see that on Substack, but when those emails go out into people's inboxes, that's where they're going to see these things. So it's important not to overlook them, otherwise they're going to look very default. And you want to make sure that you're branding everything. So make sure you go and change these so that they align with your overall branding. You might think, oh, looking at my Substack on here, everything looks branded, but you may have overlooked those emails. So first you've got your newsletter banner. So that's the banner that's going to be on the top of your newsletters. So for this, you want to go to Dashboard, Settings, Branding, and then Emails. So here we can customize the name, who that email comes from. Then you see where it says email header, you want to click that edit button to upload an email header image. Now you do have options here to have multiple headers and also footers. So it's up to you how far you want to go here, if you want to have different headers for free and paid. So this graphic needs to be at least 1100 by 2200. But again, you can make it bigger as long as you keep to the same ratio. Now you also see a section here for welcome email. So that's when somebody signs up, you can customize your welcome email. So here you can be as creative as you like. Now you want to at least customize your text, make a personal welcome message, but you can also add in graphics if you want to. So feel free to be creative here. Just think about it as a simple welcome email, but the way you approach it is completely up to you. And if you end up adding a paid tier, you do have expiration emails as well that you can edit. So then we have our welcome, which is basically a welcome ad. It's basically a page that sits on top of your publication page before somebody enters in to go and look at the page, start reading things. It's basically inviting people to sign up and be a subscriber. So it's sort of saying, hey, if you want to read this article, why don't you become a subscriber? So it's sort of that opportunity to get people to subscribe. And so it's really important to customize this because it's your chance to say, hey, this is worth subscribing to. It really focuses them because that's the only thing on that page really is just saying, do you want to subscribe, before they move on and start getting caught up in all your articles. So make the most of this to keep it on brand with the focus of, I want someone to subscribe. And also consider your little skip message as well. So for this, you're going to go to Dashboard, Settings, Welcome Page. Now your welcome page photo needs to be at least 600 by 600 or any square size that is bigger than that. So this should align with the branding of your publication. If you've really made your profile and publication very separate, make sure that this is really about the publication. We want someone to subscribe to that publication, so make an image that's really relevant to the publication. Then of course, customize that skip text to make people think, hey, maybe I should subscribe. This is where you can really show your brand's personality and things like this. So sometimes little bits of text can really allow a brand's personality to shine through. So make sure you don't overlook things like that. So now let's work on your actual publication. So first of all, you want to head to Dashboard, Settings, and Basic. Now up the top here, you're going to see your publication logo. So this is something that's very small, just something that's off in the corner, very small and tiny. So this, you don't want anything too detailed. Basically want to do something like a sub logo or some sort of graphic that really relates to the publication. Or some people are just putting a photo of themselves to make it more relatable. Because as you share things on Substack, that's a little image that's going to go next to your name as well as in the corner of your publication. So it's really up to you how you want to approach this, but make sure that you keep it fairly simple because it is going to show up quite small in a lot of settings. And so if you add something that's very detailed, people just won't be able to tell what it is. So whatever you choose to do, make it something very simple. Now this needs to be 256 by 256, or again, as long as it's square, you can make it larger. Now you also see in this section, we can add our publication name and also a short description of the publication. Now this short description is going to show up on your welcome page. So really make sure it's the kind of thing that lets people know what this is about so that if they're thinking of subscribing, they're like, oh yeah, that's for me. So make sure that you're very clear and get to the point so people can assess, is this the kind of thing that I want to subscribe to? And here you can also add your categories to put your publication into the right categories on Substack. Now if we click on website, we can now start editing our website. So you want to choose custom theme and then go to the website editor. Now what it's going to give you here is it's going to show you what your publication website will look like and you can start making edits to it. So if we click over on header, you will see again that the logo and also your word mark. So your word mark is sort of like the banner for your actual website, but it's quite small. So it's not something that you want to be overly fancy with lots of graphics. You mostly just want to keep it to just the name. But you can still make this like a logo, basically a word mark, a logo. So you want to create a logo for your publication. So this needs to be 1344 by 256 using the ratio of 21:4. Then you can play around with layout here. So there are lots of fun different possibilities. You just want to basically click on all the different ones and see what it looks like. See what appeals to you that you think would really suit what you're trying to create. And then we can choose colors and choose a custom color for the background. And you just want to go through each section and basically customize it, decide on the layout, and if it gives you options to add colors, add in. You can also click on welcome page here to have another look at how your welcome page looks. So you can actually see now what it actually looks like. And you're able to change the background color here as well. And then we have your post. So this is where you want to consider which fonts you want to use. Now there's only a limited number of fonts here. We can't get too fancy with fonts, but it does give you a few to choose from so that you can choose the ones you feel best suit the vibe and feel for your publication. Now, when it comes to graphics inside your actual post, when you go to actually write an article, you can add in here any kind of graphics you want. There are so many possibilities, but one thing that you do need to think about is the image that's going to be basically the thumbnail for that article. Now, this graphic needs to be 1200 by 630, or it can be larger as long as you keep that same ratio again. Now, you can create things like divider images, you can have things like subheader images, images, you can have footer images, you could have your little signature sign-off image. There's plenty of things you could do here. So spend some time looking at other people's articles and seeing what they include in terms of imagery to decide the kind of imagery that you might want to include. You might want to keep it real basic with just a thumbnail image, or you might want to go more fancy with lots of other different graphics. So spend some time looking around, see what other people do to make decisions about what you'd like to include in your articles so that you can create templates for things you use over and over. Things like dividers, or if you have a little signature at the end, those sort of things you want to be using all the time. So you want to take the time to create those graphics so you can use them again and again. And then if you want graphics within the post, you might want to set up a few templates just to sort of give a style and look that you would create so that it's very easy to create those graphics as you create articles. So then there's podcasts. So this is an optional thing if you want to add a podcast to your Substack. If you want to do this, all you need to do is go to Dashboard and Podcast. Here you'll be able to change the name and all the details of your podcast, put it in the right category, and the graphic that you need to make is your podcast cover. So just like if you had any other kind of podcast, you'd want to design that cover. Now this needs to be 1400 pixels wide and of course a square. And finally, notes. So this is sort of the social feed where you could just add simple text notes, you can upload graphics, videos, any kind of media where you basically just want to share a little note, just like if you were sharing something on Threads or X, anything like that. You can also share things like carousels. Now the thing here is it's really open-ended. You don't have to share any particular size, and it's really up to you what kind of graphics, what kind of media you want to share. So there's no set sizes here, but I would recommend if you're going to share things like carousels or graphics and make sure that they're related to your articles, that you actually create some templates that line up with your publication branding, and then you can just customize them and use them as you go. Think of them as a way to sort of advertise your articles. So you could just sort of do a carousel that just sort of summarizes some of the main points in your article. You could do a simple quote graphic that sort of quotes something from the article, things like that. So notes in the way help people get to know you a little bit better, let you share little things with people, so something that's not going to be a full article if you just want to share little bits of information, and also lead people to your publication. This is a huge way that people will find you on Substack. So it's sort of a way to lead people to your articles, give them a hint of the kind of thing they would expect to see in your publication. So now it's your turn. It's time to start creating those graphics for your Substack. If you still feel a bit overwhelmed by this and want a little bit of a starting point, I have created a Substack branding kit template that you can use in Canva. It's got all the sizes, it's got heaps of graphics to get you started. So if you don't want to be starting from scratch and want something to get you started to make it a lot easier to brand your Substack, then you're going to find this very helpful, and you'll find the link to that down in the description below. And of course, if you'd like to check out my Substack, take a little peek at what I'm doing, you can also find the link to my Substack down below too. And if you'd like to learn more about branding, graphic design, and using Canva, be sure to subscribe, and happy creating.